There was once a young person named Little Red Riding Hood who lived with her mother on the edge of a large wood. One day her mother asked her to bring a basket of fresh fruit and mineral water to her grandmother's house. Not because this was woman's work, mind you, but because the deed was generous and helped engender a feeling of community. Furthermore, her grandmother was not sick, but was rather in full physical and mental health and fully capable of taking care of herself as a mature adult. So Red Riding Hood set off with her basket through the woods. Now, many people believe that the forest is a dark and dangerous and foreboding place. Red Riding Hood, however, was fully confident in her own budding sexuality. And such obvious Freudian imagery did not intimidate her. On the way to grandmother's house, Little Red Riding Hood was accosted by a wolf who asked her what was in her basket. She replied, "Some healthful snacks for my grandmother, who is certainly capable of taking care of herself as a mature adult." The little wolf said, "You know, my dear, it isn't safe for little girls to wander in these woods alone." And Little Red Riding Hood replied, "I find your sexist remark offensive in the extreme, but I will ignore it because of your traditional status as an outcast from society. The stress of which has caused you to develop your own entirely valid worldview. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must be on my way." Red Riding Hood walked along the main path, but because of his status outside of society had freed him from slavish adherence to linear Western style thinking, the wolf knew a much quicker route. He burst into the house and ate grandmother, an entirely valid course of action for a carnivore such as himself. Then, unbothered by rigid traditionalist Western notions of what was masculine or feminine, put on grandma's night clothes and crawled into bed. Red Riding Hood entered the cottage and said, "Grandma, I have bought you some fat-free, sodium-free snacks to salute you in your role as a wise and nurturing matriarch, fully capable of looking after herself as a mature adult." From the bed, the wolf said softly, "Come closer, child, so I may see you." Red Riding Hood said, "Oh, sorry, Grandma. I forgot that you are as optically challenged as a bat." "Grandma, what big eyes you have." "They have seen much and forgiven much, child." "Grandma, what a big nose you have." "Only relative to my own, of course, and certainly attractive in its own way." "Oh, wow. It has smelled much and forgiven much, my dear." "Grandma, what big teeth you have." The wolf said, "Hey, I am happy with who I am and what I am." He went out of bed. He grabbed Red Riding Hood in his claws, intent on devouring her. Red Riding Hood screamed, not out of alarm at the wolf's apparent tendency towards cross-dressing, nor because she was incapable of looking after herself, but because of his willful invasion of her personal space. Her screams were overheard by a passing woods chopper person, or log fuel technician as he preferred to be known. When he burst into the cottage, he saw the fight and tried to intervene, but as he raised his axe, Red Riding Hood and the wolf both stopped. Just what the hell do you think you're doing?" The wood chopper person blinked and tried to answer, but no words came to him. "Bursting in here like a Neanderthal, trusting your weapon to do your thinking for you," she exclaimed. "Sexist! Speciest! How dare you assume that women and wolves can't solve their own problems without a man's help?" When she heard Red Riding Hood's impassioned speech, grandmother jumped out of the wolf's mouth, seized the wood chopper person's axe, and cut his head off. After this ordeal, Red Riding Hood, Grandma, and the wolf felt a certain commonality of purpose. They decided to set up an alternative household based on mutual respect and cooperation, and they lived in the woods happily ever after.